Hi, my name's Mike. Today I'll be walking you through the touchscreen in your 2010 Roadster. This is part 3 of 4 of our video tutorial series. All right, first we're going to go over the info screen. Here you can check various information about your car. Some of these do take a few minutes to turn on. So for example, if you wanted to check your tire pressure, it may not show up when you first turn it on. It can take 2 minutes for the sensors to be active. Vehicle model will tell you what car you have. Fuel saved, you can enter what kind of fuel economy your old car was getting, and that'll allow you to compare it to your new Tesla Roadster. So in this car, in the 1,100 miles it's driven, it saved 38 gallons of gas. Service info will tell you how much time you have until your next service. We recommend it every 12,000 miles or once a year. In your energy history screen, it'll show you how much energy you've used over the course of your car. Also how much you've regenerated. And now on charge history, you can see the history of your most recent charges. On the far right column, if there's a dash, it means you charged in standard mode. If there's an S, it was in storage mode, an R for range mode, and a P for performance mode. You can also view the amperage that you charged at, how long it took, and how many kilowatt hours you used. Okay, now I'm going to cover valet mode. All you have to do is enter your PIN. I'm going to hide mine so you can't see it. Now when it's in valet mode, it limits the top speed to 50 miles an hour. It counts how many times they opened the trunk, as well as how many times they tried to figure out what your PIN was. And then to disable it, just re-enter your PIN again. Okay, now we're going to go over the settings screens. So we'll start with the charging screen. Your car will always default to standard mode. That gives you the center 80% of the battery pack. It hides the bottom 10% and doesn't charge the top 10% just because it's best for the longevity of the cells. If you put it into range mode, it'll give you the full 100% of the battery, let you fully charge it and fully discharge it, and it'll limit power by 50%. And then performance mode gives you the top 90% of the battery, doesn't limit anything, and actually lets the battery warm up to reduce resistance. If you're going to leave it parked for more than 2 weeks, leave it in storage mode, and it'll make sure the battery stays charged to around 50%. Your car is set by default to charge on plug-in. If you'd like to charge it only after certain hours, you can switch it to charge at that time and just, change it to whatever time. Some people are on a time of use meter and it's cheaper to charge in the middle of the night. Next we have the current screen. This screen allows you to limit the amount of current your Roadster draws while charging. Okay, and then lastly we have the cost screen. If you enter what you're paying for electricity, that'll tell you how much money you spent after every charge. The drive screens let you control the screens you'll see when you're arrowing back and forth while driving. You can select and deselect using the select and deselect button. When you release the parking brake, you'll gain access to the drive screens. Here on the main drive screen, you have access to some helpful information, such as the car's current state of charge. This is currently showing us the ideal range. If you'd like to take a quick glance at what the estimated range is, just tap the button down here at the bottom, and that will switch back after 30 seconds. You can also see the ambient temperature outside, how late it is here in Menlo Park. The top right corner will show you which direction you're headed. Right now we're not moving. And one of the new features here down on the bottom actually gives you access to the driving mode you're in. So right now we're driving in performance mode. If you want to switch it back to standard or into range mode, say you're driving in standard mode and you're getting near the end of your charge, you want to make sure you finish your trip, you can pop it into range mode, and that will reduce power by 50%. Wow, so you can see how many more miles I got. Next up we have the energy screen, which will show you energy usage per mile. You have 3 different choices, 5 miles, 15, or 30. Next up is the trip screen. You can reset that by pressing the reset button. Steven already did, that's why it says 0. Next is the performance screen. This will show you torque, power, and acceleration. Following the performance screen is the clock. Pretty self-explanatory. And then onto the temperature screen. This will show you the temperature of the motor, power electronics module, and battery. Keep in mind the car will always protect itself. So even if you see these getting into the yellow or red, it's no cause for concern. The car will limit power or torque, whatever is necessary to keep the car from damaging itself. And then we're back to where we started. The tire monitor is set by default for efficiency. If you'd like to soften the ride a little bit, you can switch it to the comfort setting. Now this only changes the parameters that it's measuring. You will still have to actually physically let air out of the tires if you'd like to soften up the ride. The security pin screen will allow you to change your security pin. You do have to enter your old one. Every car comes with a default one. If you don't know it, ask your friendly customer relations associate. If you purchase the upgraded electronics group, you'll have access to HomeLink, which allows you to add your garage door opener or other similar devices. To program those devices, just press Add and follow the simple instructions. HomeLink does allow you to add up to 3 different devices. Okay, the key fob screen allows you to control the settings. For the 3rd button on your key, you have to press the button twice to activate it. By default, it's set to the trunk release. Your other options are the panic button or HomeLink if you purchase the upgraded electronics group. On the units screen, you can set your default units. And if you like, you can change your drive screen setting from ideal range to estimated range, which looks at how you drove the last 30 miles. Now on our last screen, you have the touchscreen settings. So if you need to adjust the contrast, wow, look at that difference. And if you need to calibrate your touchscreen, you can do so there. Tow mode. This one's very important. If ever your car would need to be towed, you will need a flatbed truck. To put your car into tow mode, it will need to be off. Simply select tow mode. It'll give you a warning that you should only use a flatbed. And then it'll deactivate the parking paw, which allows the car to roll freely. Lastly, we have one of the cool new features of the 2010 Roadster, is the GSM modem. It's set to off by default, but by turning that on, that allows Tesla to remotely access diagnostic data for your car. You can choose to leave it on for 6 hours, or if you always leave it on, Tesla would have the ability to download that data without you even being there.